Yo, what's up, family? Here we are, another review that is 10 years, a whole decade worth of build-up, and destiny has arrived in the form of Marvel's Avengers Infinity War. That's way too long of a movie build-up if you ask me. Well, just like assembling the pieces of a puzzle, you can't get it all done in one go. So with all that out of the way, here's the breakdown of the video. As usual, I'm going to give you the good, the bad, and my overall thoughts. I am not going to mention any spoilers in this. I'm not going to say any spoilers here. I'm going to say that for another video because I just have a lot more to go in depth or whatever. So again, you don't have to worry about spoilers here. It's spoiler safe. Oh, you don't feel like doing another one of your 40-minute documentaries? Well, obviously, it's an effort on my part to try to save on time. So that's why the spoiler's going to be saved for another video. And, you know, we're going to stick with the bare essentials now. So without any more stalling, let's go ahead and get into this review of Avengers Infinity War. So, the things that I enjoyed about the film. Obviously, characters that I have a long history with, the story that was orchestrated and structured throughout the runtime of the film, some motivations that was broken down for each individual character, because again, there were a lot of characters that they had to cover in this movie, and I really feel that at least enough people were able to kind of get their point across. But the thing is, with this film, it didn't focus on character development because, again, it was so much that they had to cover in 2.5 hours. But I feel they were able to pace this out pretty well. Wait, there's no character development? This movie already sounds terrible. I won't say that there was zero character development, but because it features a lot of characters that we've spent the last 10 years getting to know, even though the more recent has been Black Panther, which was in the last 2 years, they didn't really need any more character development. Honestly, a lot of it was focused on Thanos, since he was the one that was basically going to show up and basically cause all hell to break loose. So again, these are characters we already know. We don't really need that much more development out of them. Like, we know who they are. The idea is to try to figure out how they are supposed to stop Thanos. So you're saying the movie is about the villain? Well, yeah, if you think about it. The thing is, up to this point, Thanos really hasn't had a lot of backstory because he wasn't the main focus. We just know that he was just going to be this presence that's operating behind the scenes. So now that we have Infinity War, where it's essentially him collecting the Infinity Gems, that's what it's about. We had to get some more development and backstory with Thanos, which I think they handled rather well. Thanos is easily the best thing about this movie because even though he is a fictional CGI character, because of that Disney money and the special effects, I have to say that the effects in general and the CGI characters and all that, like, they looked really good. In addition to that, Thanos is a very imposing and scary presence in this movie. For the record, I've seen the movie twice now. I saw this in IMAX 3D on my second viewing, and I have to say with the 3D, it pops out a lot. And when you see Thanos on screen, along with some of the other characters, it's almost hard to distinguish between the effects in flesh and blood because a lot of it feels so seamless. Like, it's not a whole lot that takes you out of the film. And I gotta give him props to that. Like, it looks really, really good. Well, anybody can make their CG look good if it's under Disney. Whoop-de-damn-do. I see I'm gonna have to cut some more salt out of my diet because, Marv, you really bugging, bruh. FM, I am not salty. I'm just saying movies that's under the Disney umbrella, there's no reason why they special effects should not look good. Well, that's a fair point, but I feel it's worth the mention because, again, when you have characters that are 100% CGI with motion capture, there can be times where you can tell, like, well, hey, that's animated, and kind of take you out of the movie, but I feel that they kept it to a minimum to where it's sometimes you were too into the movie to even try to catch it when it looked more animated than realistic. So again, props, good stuff. The action and the tone throughout the whole movie I felt was handled really well, because the Russo brothers had to take on a lot and it was a lot of working pieces. I still think that it worked really well together. Like, essentially the turning cogs in a clock is the only way that I can really describe it, because each thing had its working place, making everything else kind of keep going along. So there weren't honestly, I didn't really feel that there was a dull moment in this movie, because it wasn't quite rapid fire, but at the same time, it kept a pace that you can follow. You understood what was going on. And again, like, I really feel that overall it was really well orchestrated. Again, after seeing it a second time, I still feel the impact that this movie has left on a lot of people. And I have to say that this movie impacted a lot of people. I find it kind of funny that this movie got grown folks all up in their feelings, bro. You would have thought this was Empire Strikes Back all over again. I honestly really feel this is kind of the Empire Strikes Back of the MCU right now, because a lot of people are feeling a certain kind of way. And again, if the movie sets out to make you feel a certain way and takes you on that ride, the movie did its job. And said ride is essentially an emotional roller coaster, and that's all you can really say. So as far as the good, that's pretty much all I got. So we're gonna move into the next section and let's see if we can discuss some bad. So after really thinking about this, after seeing this movie 2 times and really picking up on things that I didn't really catch the first time, concerning bad things about the film, I've got nothing. Hold on. Time out. Pause. FM, we are not doing this again. Well, Marv, you got a problem because I personally couldn't find anything wrong with it? Look, man, you said there was nothing wrong with Black Panther, which I cannot believe you even said. And now you're saying this movie has nothing bad in it? Dude, no. There is no way in the world you skip through this without seeing anything wrong with it. Yeah, whatever, Marv. I guess if I'm going to choose something that maybe bothers me a little, I would say that the lesser villains in the movie didn't really get that much of a build-up. But at the same time, I feel that the role that they played was sufficient enough for them. They were just servants of Thanos that had a role to play, and I think they played those roles out as far as they can go, because again, the real focus in this film was Thanos. So I think that the lesser villains overall played their role. The only other thing I can say is that I guess some of the humor timing could have been better. Me personally, look, I like to laugh. I don't really harp on the humor in these movies too much. I grew up on action comedies. A lot of those movies did that, so I'm not gonna trip about it. But it's not to the point where the jokes kind of detracted from the actual threat, because again, the threat was still very real. And again, nothing was going to detract from that. Anyway, that's all I have. Other than that, I didn't really see anything else wrong with the film other than that. All right, I'm just saying, I'm trying to keep things objective here. I wasn't aware that I was going to have a referee for my reviews. So, as far as my thoughts about the film, I honestly really feel that it's a very strong, put together film that has a lot going on in it, but has a way of setting everything out to where it doesn't feel convoluted. It doesn't feel like things are out of place. Everything feels as it should be. And one of the things I thought was interesting, that the film essentially started the same way it ended. And I'm not going to get into too many details, but all I have to say is it's pretty impactful. So, with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, Marvel's Avengers Infinity War gets a marvelous score from me of You guessed it, 10 out of 10. Damn it, FM, I told you to be objective this time. Marv, I am being objective, okay? In my objective opinion, this movie did exactly what it needed to do as a 10-year build-up and culmination of everything that they've been doing since 2008. The people were invested, and people, well, figuratively enjoyed themselves. And again, it had everybody right there by the emotional heartstrings, man. Like, it had everybody right in the heart, okay? This movie did that. It succeeded. Hey, it gets a 10 out of 10. It did what it needed to do. You just couldn't let it go. You Marvel shield. Whatever, Marv, save your frustration for the spoiler review. And keep in mind, folks, that'll be up sometime this week as soon as I get everything scheduled out and all that. And, you know, again, we can fully talk about it at length, but hopefully not too long. So guys, that does it for my spoiler-free review. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did doing this review. But even so, we got some more to talk about. Boy, do we have some more to talk about. Yeah, I see some more of that subjectiveness coming out of you. Yeah, well, it is what it is. So, guys, post your comments down below. Let me know what you think of the movie. If you saw it already, you know, we can get the little dialogue going and, you know, have something to look forward to when the spoiler review comes up. So, as usual, guys, go ahead, like, subscribe, all those wonderful things, and I will check with you guys in the next video. Until then, keep following my advice to go nerd, but nerd responsibly. This is your boy, Fallen Marvel, and I am Marv, the Mad Conscience. And family, keep on back! Keep on back! We are out. Deuces!